Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo. Welcome back to Destiny. And today we saw the launch of the biggest patch since the launch of the Taken King. This is patch 2.0.1. We've got a ton of new additions, changes to the game, stuff going on the tower, the return of the Iron Banner. We've got a set release date for the return for the Trials of Osiris, which will actually be this weekend. We're going to be seeing Trials of Osiris drop. It'll be the 16th of October, and it's going to be running through the 18th, which is pretty exciting. And Iron Banner, which started today, is going to be running through the 19th, so all the way to the reset. So a lot to look forward to if you're a hardcore Crucible guy, but I wanted to do a little bit of an overview of it all. We're not going to play Iron Banner, but there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about, give you guys my opinions on, and just do a bit of a lengthy discussion regarding some of the components of the patch. Now, I recommend that you check out the entire patch notes list if you are an avid Destiny player. There's a lot of small changes going on there. We've got stuff like shop package being removed from shotgun, a lot of small tweaks and changes to the way that we gather resources, the amount of resources we're going to be gathering, a lot of stuff that's going to affect you as a day-to-day guardian. Read the patch notes thoroughly, see what's going on so you're informed and you're not surprised by anything when you're out in the field. Now I want to start with the most interesting change, and one that took everyone by surprise. If I go ahead and look at an exotic armor piece here, I now have the option to twist fate. This is a brand new node that's going to allow you to change the stats and upgrades available on this armor. Very, very interesting. I did not see this coming. I don't think a lot of us did. It's just not something I expected, but I applaud it. You know, exotics are something that stay with you for a very long time, and rather than waiting for another one to drop or something of that nature, it's nice to be like, okay, I got my Imperium Bellicose, I can re-roll this thing. I know I'm going to be able to maintain my exotic perk, obviously, but maybe I can get something different going on in my second tier here. Maybe I can get, you know, discipline rather than strength or intellect. It's going to cost you some glimmer, some armor materials, and glass needles, which will be purchasable from Xur when he comes around this Friday. You can do this with any exotic armor piece, but you cannot do it with exotic weapons. You will notice there is no Twist of Fate node available. Now, on to more controversial news. Tess Evers is back in the tower with her brand new business venture, the Eververse. This is a premium market for Destiny. That means that these are microtransactions. They require the purchase of silver with real money to then purchase cosmetic items. Now, Bungie has stressed that the Eververse will only ever sell cosmetic items that do not impact player experience. If they stay true to that, I will be okay with this. If it starts to go down a more slippery slope, I know a lot of us will be jumping ship and Bungie will hear our wrath. I think that even Activision is smarter than that. And honestly, there's a lot of good potential here. There is a lot of good potential here, right? Because there are rumors. There was an article that Kotaku posted. Nothing has been confirmed by Bungie yet. But the idea is that the introduction of these microtransactions could help fund free DLC moving into the future. Now I want to reference an MMO known as Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 is a buy-to-play MMO that does not have a subscription fee. Instead, it has used a microtransactions market since day one to provide tons, month after month, of free content to the players. And there has been almost nothing that has been required for purchase in terms of expansion or story or, you know, mission additions to Guild Wars 2. That game has done really well with that system. If Bungie can do the same with Destiny, that would be spectacular. I think it would bring a lot of people to the game. You're going to have the hardcore player basis. They're going to be funding these expansions, these pieces of DLC, with the purchase of these microtransactions, as long as they can make sure that they continue to be interesting and something that people actually want to spend their hard-earned cash on. And that will allow free expansions moving into the future. Now, again, we know nothing about that. Nothing has been officially confirmed. We don't know the size of these expansions. Will we still have to pay for stuff like the Taken King? None of that has been set in stone by Bungie yet, and I know a lot of us are eagerly waiting to hear what is going on with that. But let's take a look at the Eververse. Now, the only thing available right now are emotes. If you're a normal Guardian, you bought the game day one, you didn't buy a Legendary Edition or, you know, Collector's Edition of the Taken King, you're going to have 400 silver. I've already spent 200 of mine. If you did buy a Collector's Edition, you're going to have quite a bit more. You can buy silver via the marketplace for either the PSN or the Xbox Marketplace. It's going to be $5 or $4.99 in the USA anyways for 500 silver. So keep that in mind. So basically, a legendary emote is going to cost you $5. I'm going to go ahead and make use of my 200 silver here, though. I've already purchased my formal bow. We'll go ahead and take a look at this. I'm pretty cool. Pretty good fan of this. I've always treated my Titan sort of like a very respectful, honorable samurai type character, so I went with the bow. But let's take a look at all these. We've got the enthusiastic dance, which you may recognize. I do believe that that was one of the legendary Taken King, like, whatever you want to call it, collector's edition emotes. We've got the slow clap that so many people wanted. You got pumped up going on here. And honestly, my favorite thing about the addition of all these new emotes is it brings your character to life. You know, this is a first-person shooter. Apart from the dances we had and, you know, the few points, our characters, honestly, are pretty docile. So to see some really intense emote animations going on here is definitely welcome. I'd love to see more of this, you know, sort of just integrated into the game. I like the idea of Guardians just really coming to life. I mean, I can only imagine the stuff that people are going to be doing with some of these emotes in Machinima. I hope we see a spawn of some awesome videos. It's going to be cool. You know, Husky Raid's going to have a lot of fun with this the next time they do a dance piece. Got the Booyah. Let's see, we got to Bring It On here. We'll just go through the rest of these real quick so you guys can take a look at them all. Bring it on. Oh, yeah. The Victory Cheer. It's just, I could just see someone doing that in Rift. You know, somebody dunks the relic in and just loses it. The spark, I should say. Sorry. Got the Come At Me there. If you're a little bit more intense, congratulations. Yeah, I like that. Doing a good job with that one as well. We got the Cower. I don't know why you want to do this. I guess this is definitely the Hunter, right? I mean, this row to me is like tiered. So here's the Hunter. Obviously, we have the Warlock with the Evil Scheme here. And then we have the Titan with the Oh Please. The Alright Already. Just kind of like really fed up and over it. I never really saw my Titan in that light, but hey, you know, each their own. This one is, you know, we got drama, ultimate drama Titan here. It's just, it's like he's performing something from Shakespeare. And then we got a couple more. We've got Tantrum. Again, very heavily animated. It's just really cool to see your Guardian actually moving around like that. I've always loved, you know, animation pieces like that. You know, the old Call of Duties, when you used to finish them back in the day, like going back to Call of Duty 2, and I think Modern Warfare even did it, or maybe it was Call of Duty, I don't know. They used to have like really cool animated after scenes in the cutscenes that were just the characters. It's cool to kind of take your character out of the game and just watch them be animated. So I've done the formal bow. Honestly, I probably just going to save my other ones because I really don't know which one I want just yet. Actually, I do know. I want the Sorrow. I want to be completely dramatic and absurd. Now, there's one other thing I want to mention before we leave the Eververse. I almost forgot. There is an items return system. Item returns are available for a short time after a purchase. You can return up to 30 of your most recent purchases made within the last 15 minutes in exchange for silver. So if you buy like 10 of these things, $20, and you're like, whoa, wait, I didn't want that one, I really want that one, you can come on back as long as it's within 15 minutes, and you can exchange it for silver. So cool. I like within 30, that's kind of a pretty big safeguard. I can't imagine anyone buying 30 of anything, at least not yet. I imagine that this is going to start to fill up with quite a bit more emotes as time goes on. Moving on, let's go ahead and take a look at what Lord Saladin has to offer in the Iron Banner. As I said, guys, you really should read the patch notes. A lot of changes with the Iron Banner. There's a lot of talk on how the power curve is working now. Things you should definitely inform yourself with before you go into the Iron Banner. But let's talk about his rewards and how his new upgraded bounty system is working. Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed with the rewards. Now, I know these are going to cycle out every time he comes to the tower, and I also should mention that you have the ability to obtain not just weapons from the Crucible, from the Iron Banner Crucible drops, but also armor now. So at the end of an Iron Banner match, I keep wanting to say Crucible, at the end of an Iron Banner match, you can get armor as well as weapons. So we've got a brand new mark, and beneath its branches, the Iron Wolves forged an unbreakable oath. It's alright. Honestly, my biggest problem with the stuff that we're seeing right here, right now, is I just want to see more creativity coming out of the PvP gear. Especially for the Iron Banner. Like, this is supposed to be a really, you know, difficult challenge. And I think that Trials of Osiris, you know, last year got a lot more love than the Iron Banner did when it came to armor. I want to see some unique armor pieces. Honestly, this is just like the standard greaves that we've seen so many times over and over, with one of the pads missing from the right leg and some small Iron Banner adornment going on there. It's just, I you know, expected a little bit more. This Hake sidearm, pretty cool though. I actually do really like what's going on with this. You know, it's got a little suppressor, some fancy little laser setup going on down there. Got some nice writing on the side of this. Just nice detail. Looking at the perks, we've got Zen Moment, Hot Swap, choice between Snapshot and Quick Draw. And then we have this Pulse Rifle, which looks identical, apart from its color scheme, to last year's Pulse Rifle. Again, a bit of a disappointment. Now, I imagine that there could be more gear, more weapons to actually earn and unlock while playing the game, as well as when he returns to the tower. I just didn't really want to see a lot of repeat weapon models. That's really just me personally. A lot of people are probably fine with this. I don't know, I wanted to see something fresh. Taking a look at what we have though: Outlaw, Perfect Balance, Brace Frame or Injection Mold, and then Third Eye, in case you're curious. You notice that all of these are now purchasable with legendary marks. The armor, at least the 2 that are available here, are 40. The sidearm is 90, and 90 for the pulse rifle. Now we've got 2 new emblems, the return of the 2 original Iron Banner shaders. I would love to see some new shaders, hopefully enter the game. Maybe next time Iron Banner comes into the tower, I don't know, whenever. I just would like to see new shaders for the Iron Banner. Now the biggest thing that has gotten a rework is the way that the bounties work, and I am 100% on board with this. So we've got our sort of classic style bounties over here, fairly simple. They're going to grant you a small amount of Iron Banner standing every day. You're going to be able to do these, obviously. So 20 kills, 13 with primary, and then win an Iron Banner match with a banner emblem or shader equipped. Moving over here, though, these gold tier ones, these are where it gets a little bit more hardcore. For example, this one needs a 10 kill streak, 5 double kills, the top overall score, as well as Iron Banner rank 4, but it's going to get you 5,000 experience, 525 Iron Banner standing, as well as 25 legendary marks. And the same goes for these other 2. 13 matches completed, 7 wins. And then 50 kills with primary, 25 with special, and 13 heavy. So these are the hardcore ones. They're going to require a little bit more effort, a little bit more grinding to actually fill them out. But when you do, you get a big chunk of Iron Banner standing, some legendary marks, and a huge chunk of experience. I dig that. I like a little bit of more challenge going into these. It just seemed like a nice a nice addition rather than just having a slew of really boring bounties that you're just going to do on a daily basis. I like a more challenging bounty that might take you 1 or 2 days to actually go ahead and complete. So I'm on board with that. Hopefully some of the other weapons and gear that we're going to see available from the Iron Banner are going to start to look a little bit more unique, a little bit more special. But we'll see. We'll see. Either way, I'm excited to get into the Iron Banner, start messing around. Again, really recommend you check out the patch notes. I'll have them linked down in the description below if you haven't already read them. A lot of stuff going on there that you should definitely be well aware of. Whew. So that does it for really everything that we can cover here in the tower. Like I said, I'm going to go out and actually spend some time in the Iron Banner, and I hope to give you guys my full impressions of the returned version of the Iron Banner by the end of the weekend. Also, I'm going to look into spending some time with the Trials of Osiris. I know a lot of us are excited to see what sort of gear we're going to be able to obtain from the Lighthouse this year, in year 2. Hopefully we'll see some really cool stuff getting dropped. And I'd love to see some, I'd love to see some unique legendary armor available from Brother Vance. Not like a lot of rehashes going on. Apart from all that, there's a lot of small fixes. Like I said, this is why I was telling you to read the patch note. A lot of small fixes. There's stuff going on with the quests and bounties, stuff with the raid, crucible. Like I said, shop package, you can remove from shotguns. There's even economy changes. Interestingly enough, one of the big things we were just talking about on Planet Destiny recently, there's now a 100% increase in obtaining motes of light from public events. Interesting. Public events are super easy, and they're probably a pretty solid way to grind motes of lights now. Or at least, to go ahead and try and farm them anyways. They've reduced some of the stuff going on with dismantling of weapons, uncommon and rare. So they've reduced the amount of weapon parts. Weapon part turn-ins at factions increased from 50 rep to 75 reps, so you're going to get a little bit more reputation out of that, making them a little bit more valuable at the cost of them being a little bit more difficult to find. They've even fixed the Firefly crash that so many of you were having with the Vanity FWC hand cannon. So a lot of great stuff there. Overall, I'm really excited for 2.01. Am I still concerned about the idea of microtransactions in Destiny? A little. I do have faith in Bungie. I think that Activision recognizes their boundaries, and I can't see them doing anything silly with the Eververse when it comes up. I imagine that promise they made about cosmetics only, they're going to stay true to that, and maybe we'll see some exciting stuff out of it. And maybe for the rest of us, and even the people purchasing this stuff, it's going to mean that we're going to see some free DLC. I think a lot of people would like that, and I think it would bring a lot of people to the game, especially after all the debacles with the House of Wolves and the Dark Below this year. The ability to have free expansions for those who would not otherwise purchase in-game microtransactions, because of those who are the hardcore player bases who are going to fund the game through microtransactions, is going to bring a huge increase to the player basis. I guarantee that. A lot of people who are sitting on the sidelines like, $40 expansion, they're going to be running out to their local game store. They're going to be clicking over on Amazon, and they're going to be picking up a copy of Destiny, because there is no denying that Destiny is an extremely solid and enjoyable shooter, and it's also, in my opinion, a very unique experience that is often overlooked because of a lot of the problems it had in year 1 with exposure and coverage from the media. A lot of the ways that people were looking at it. So that could make a huge change for the way Destiny is looked at by people outside of the immediate Destiny community. If you guys have any questions or any thoughts regarding patch 2.1, the changes with the Iron Banner, the Eververse, anything you want to share with me or ask me, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one.